Shaquille O'Neal recently came out with a comment on current NBA players' comments on his comments, if that makes sense, and this comment really annoyed me. Shaq said, "When Kareem Abdul-Jabbar gave me constructive criticism, I took it. I listened and I brought my game to another level. These guys now are pudding pops." Now, my first thought when I read that is, pudding pops? What the fuck kind of insult is that? And then my second is, what amount of Shaq's criticism has ever been constructive? Because I think it might be 0%. I made a video on the problem with former NBA players in the past, all of their bitterness for the modern game, how much they make the product worse by constantly complaining about what we're seeing during commentary or doing shows like what Shaq does. But that video was more focused on that overarching problem, even though I did talk about Shaq and he is in the thumbnail. In today's video, I want to talk about Shaq specifically, not because I have some grand point to make in general like last time, but rather because Shaq is just annoying me a lot lately. Shaq is just a part of a bigger problem, but I do feel he is probably the biggest part of this problem, both literally because he's gigantic and figuratively because he's a big bubble-blowing baby. So let's talk about it. Real quick before I continue on with this video, about half of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed, so if you fall into that 50%, then subscribe. Also drop a like on this video. It only takes 1 second and it makes a massive difference. And one quick thing as well, there is a new podcast out now. If you have not watched that one already, then I'd really appreciate it if you did so. With that out of the way, let's get on with the topic. So the talk that really inspired that comment from Shaq really just revolves around the Utah Jazz this season, because he said negative things about both Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. He said to Donovan Mitchell's face that he did not believe that he could take his game to the next level. Rudy, I'm gonna send a clip edited in right after that sentence that I just did. The thing about that is, I actually agree with Shaq. I don't think Mitchell is going to reach a superstar level, and that's just because I have a very high standard for what I consider a superstar, and I'm just assuming Shaq has a similar level that he considers to be a superstar. However, that's not constructive, and also it's rather rude just to say to a guy's face, I don't think you're going to get better. It's not wrong, but just because it's not wrong doesn't mean it gives you the right to say it out of the blue to a player right after they had a very good game while his team is on a win streak. So, rude as fuck regardless, but second of all, even if that was acceptable, it's not constructive criticism. Constructive criticism would be, hey, I think you need to do this, this, and this to reach the next level to be a superstar. I have my doubts as to whether or not you can actually do that, but here's what I think you should do. That's constructive criticism. Point out, hey, this is a weakness you have that makes me say, yeah, I don't know if you can be a superstar. Your efficiency could be better. Your finishing at the basket could be better. Your playmaking could be better. Things like that. But no, Shaq just says, I don't think you can do it. All right, next. And what's annoying about this is that apparently, this is just speculation, but it seems as though Shaq does this because when a player doesn't do great, he can be like, all right, I told you so, not that good. Or if they elevate their game, he can say, hey, I motivated them. Because that's the thing he says, is that he's trying to motivate them. But that's not really how that works. And it's setting yourself up to win regardless of what happens. And that is just really annoying and not really how things work. He also criticized Rudy Gobert's contract. On a podcast, he basically insinuated that all Rudy does is average 11 points per game. Like, I think he said something like, it's an inspiration to kids out there that if you can average 11 points in the NBA, you can get a $200 million contract. And that is such a stupid mindset. Like, yeah, Rudy is overpaid, but he's much more than 11 points per game. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. Like, that's such a childish and as Christian Wood has said, very casual approach to the game to say, hey, look, Rudy averages 11 points per game. He's not that good. Why are you giving him $200 million? Like, that is very casual of an opinion to hold. And I don't think Shaq actually holds that opinion. Or if he does, he's an idiot. If he doesn't, he's saying stuff like that because he's a petty child. I don't think I need to explain this, but Rudy Gobert is one of the best defensive players in the league. I would argue that right now he is the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year, as he is leading the Jazz to one of the best defensive ratings in the league, while the Jazz are the best team in the league. And he's also a fantastic rebounder, but no, 11 points per game, also on like amazing efficiency, just to put that out there. So yeah, no, that's not what Rudy Gobert is. And it's childish to act like it is, or it's stupid to think it is. It's one or the other with Shaq. Pick your poison. Then, Rudy Gobert had pushback to this. I don't remember what exactly it was, but he had some comment about Shaq shit about him. I think he said he's just going to do what he does or whatever. I know that's what Donovan Mitchell said. And then Shaq went on Instagram and made a post with a photo of him dunking on Rudy Gobert, like edited for that. And then was like, shut up, I would destroy you in my prime or whatever. Which, like, first of all, no one's really arguing that you wouldn't, so stop being so fucking insecure, which is a big thing with Shaq, by the way. And then second, what did that have to do with him just simply replying to your criticism? Like, if you want to talk about constructive criticism, you're reacting more childish than any player has reacted to your dumbass criticism, so why can't you take constructive criticism? Speaking of that, I mean, I saw this tweet that I'm going to send Rudy to put over the screen here that was like, Shaq didn't do conditioning after Kobe told him to, and then he made a fucking diss track about it. Like, Shaq was a lazy player. He's still good, but like, to act like he was just this player who took constructive criticism left and right and never complained about being criticized, like, what the fuck are you talking about, Shaq? That's not who you are. And this hating on players thing, it's not new. He's done this a lot in the past. Like, Dwight Howard is one of the biggest examples. He was always hating on him in his prime, and then even post-prime, after Dwight like made a post about how happy he was to have contributed to a team winning a championship after feeling like he was done in the NBA, Shaq basically said, shut up, you didn't do anything. Which, A, is not true, and B, dude, why the fuck are you such a hater? What did he do for you to hate him like this? Like, he had the nickname Superman for a while? Once again, this is very fucking childish. And then JaVale McGee, he basically ruined JaVale's career for multiple years by constantly going after him and his Shaq into full bits. And was it funny? Sure. But let's not pretend like what he did to JaVale was constructive criticism, because it sure as fuck wasn't. It was saying, hey, look at this idiot, and then laughing. Another example of this would be when Luka Doncic dropped a 40-point triple-double and hit a game winner on the Clippers in the playoffs, and his first response to that, his first response to seeing a, like, what, 21-year-old maybe, have a 40-point triple-double game winner against a contender, his first response was, I've seen that before. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, how is that your response? And I don't want to talk about the overarching issue like I did last time, but I just will say once more, as I did in that video, that really ruins the product of the NBA. Like, imagine you're a casual fan and you watch Luka do that and you're amazed. And then the first thing that you hear after the game is a legend of the game say, what are you, it's going to downplay it quite significantly. And you're like, oh, maybe what I saw wasn't all that ridiculous. I don't need to keep watching this. Like, God, I fucking hate it so much. So just to be clear, what Shaq says to these players is not constructive in any sense of the definition. And then on top of that, when these players push back to what Shaq say, or even when they don't, and it's just people in general who are fans of the NBA pushing back on what Shaq says, his response is childish as shit and immature. Initially, that clip with Donovan Mitchell and Shaq, who seems more mature there? Because to me, it's Donovan Mitchell, who is half of Shaq's age. And that's pretty sad. It's sad because Shaq used to be one of those guys where it was like universally everybody likes this guy. If you had a problem with Shaq, people were like, what's wrong with you? everybody likes Shaq. But that's not really been the case lately, and people are starting to catch on. Hell, I'm getting to the point where I actually relish in watching Candace Parker destroy him on TNT with her actual knowledge of the modern game, while Shaq argues, why don't they fight over screens anymore, which is such a boomer fucking thing to say. I kind of enjoy watching Candace Parker be like, bro, everybody can shoot. Stop being stupid. But it's not fun to watch somebody that you used to like slowly, or not even slowly, pretty drastically grow into a player or a person that you do not want to see on TV. And NBA fans are coming around to this. Like I said, Shaq has always been like this, but it seems like he's turning up the dial, and fan response to it has turned up as well. People are being more and more critical of Shaquille O'Neal as time goes on. I saw that Candace Parker thing I was talking about. I saw that in a clip that had like 40,000 likes of people just being like, yeah, fuck Shaq, he got dunked on here. I would really appreciate it if Shaq would stop this because of three things. 1, I would like him. 2, I am very, very tired of it. And 3, it is sad seeing him slowly become one of the more disliked figures in NBA media. He's becoming unlikable. It is childish. It screams insecurity. And it's just overall not fun for anybody involved. It's bad for Shaq. It makes him look bad. It's bad for the players he's talking to. They have to deal with his bullshit. And it's bad for fans as he makes the NBA product worse with this bullshit. So, Shaq, please just stop. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, that's it. Again, check out that podcast. Rudy edited in a different clip this time that's not just me saying I'd prefer Freddie Mercury over Kurt Cobain. Don't know what they're supposed to get out of that entices them to watch the podcast. So put something here that's actually interesting right there. Clip.
I'm gonna fuck around and make a video. The downfall of Rusty Buckets. It all started with this conversation. He was going crazy, 100K.
I imagine you put something uninteresting. Shout out to Rudy for editing this video, but that is the end of this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more NBA content like this, and cue the outro music.